Greetings. It's a Saturday night. Uh-oh. Yeah, I came back over here and the background was down. I just went live and I wonder who is involved with that. Seeing it and a crime in pro. I want that. Happy now? Yeah. Well, there went that. All right. So I have the light on. There you go. At least you can have something. I should paint something on the wall. They can't tear that down. All right. Yeah, so crying has been recorded. I kind of figured they might do that yeah, they've been quiet all day, and all of a sudden after going live, then they tear the background down. Yeah. So yeah, that was Priscilla. So the Queen of the Mountain did that. All right, so tonight is Ukraine crisis, reset, erase timelines, and 10th dimensional Tau Ceti, how to connect to Tau Ceti, and it's in forever. Yeah. So Ukraine, possibly they might have peace talks. I guess tomorrow is today there. So that'd be good. I'm not sure if that's going to go anywhere or not. That would be nice. I think we're all kind of tired of all this, but of course, no one's more tired than Ukraine. But we'll see. It's hard to say if this is going to end or not. It'd be nice if it did, because it's just who's benefiting from this besides nobody. Even Russia's taking a beating from it. So, of course, they're getting us on gas prices. How convenient. The virus disappears somehow. How convenient. Just have a string of conveniences. So there's a possibility this whole war thing might come to an end, which would be interesting. It doesn't mean it will, but it's possible that it might. And then we're on to the next crisis, manufactured crisis, wherever that might be. So at least it got us out of we went from the virus to World War III, possible, to who knows what's next. So yeah, they have to have another timeline to hook on to. They go from one manufactured timeline, they walk into another one, and then they walk into another one. So I just have to wait and see. I'll see if I can channel somebody about that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get an answer on that. Probably not. Things like that are free will and sacred timelines, things like that. So, it's best we don't know sometimes. But I guess we never know. Oh, those cats are something else. They've been so quiet. I haven't told her to come. My private sessions, as schedule. Yeah, I have a shop here. I'm on the 22nd, 24th. Same situation here. There's a webinar Wednesday and this Saturday. Social network and behind the scenes. Yeah. So, another thing I was going to go into first, this is actually made the title of it, but the Ukraine thing came to mind of, I probably should put this in the title, but I can always do another subject about it. I'll do another subject on this, but I think I should bring it up anyway. About, are you coming back or not? People always get this question: Am I coming back to this world? It's hard to say. It's like, would you come back if you were rich? Would you come back if you'd be with a certain person? Would you come back here for, if you had $1 million in your bank, you don't have to worry about anything. Would you come back for certain reasons? That's one way of looking at it. But the other thing is, if you're just tired of this place altogether, like you don't care if you're offered $1 million or like a supermodels or whatever relationships or the best job in the world, and you don't care about any of that, you're not coming back. Because if you're not interested in this place, I don't see how they can keep you coming. Now there might be reasons, like you still might not want to come back here, but you come back for certain reasons. But you've been here so many times, it doesn't mean you have to keep coming back here forever. I don't think that's the case. I could be wrong about that, but after a while you get tired, and you get so tired you don't care anymore. It's like you're just wasting everybody's time. Like if you're at a job you don't care about, right? And you just keep messing up and messing up. It's like, this is just wasting my time. The same thing can happen with an incarnation. So either you take time off of it, because this world obviously is not going anywhere anytime soon. I know there's people talk about aliens and all of that, but you're not seeing anything. This world is just stuck. It's in the mud, and it's going to be like this for a long time. Not to be negative, but it's like some are in the spiritual delusion, thinking that we're going to go to this new version of Earth and all that. Of course, we're always going to go to a new version of Earth. It's going to get more positive, yeah, but some people are not ready for that, so they're going to make their lives a living hell. So a lot of people are not ready for happiness, so they're not going to let it happen. So it's still going to be a while for all that. So I know people, you just got to tell people they don't want to hear. But it doesn't mean we have to go through this type of war. We still have a war at home, in the families, homelessness, parasitic presidents, demonic Nancy Pelosi's. We have enough to deal with as it is. Most of humanity care less. I mean, they care, but they're not looking into it. How do you get rid of something like that? I don't know. Bug spray. Big can of bug spray. So I guess you can take that in different directions on that. But how do you get rid of a parasite? That's in the presidency, most of the government. I don't know. Complaining about it doesn't do anything, that's for sure. I guess venting helps, but either way. So all right. So the Ukraine situation, kind of beating that to death a little bit, but reason being because they're having peace talks tomorrow. So the idea is hopefully there's a possibility the sucker will end. It feels like it could. It doesn't mean it would. If it doesn't, that's going to really suck. Because they create more of this, more propaganda, more countries being stupid, and it's just not. You're going to put our gas. You just keep screwing us with gas prices, which they probably don't have to do. So it's just one psyop after. Just enjoy your psyop. Have your tea and enjoy your daily psyop. Fucking joke. So, all right. The background has been cleared. It's been exercised. Shit. And of course, they're nowhere to be found now. Too much. And erase timelines is we'll just tap into that. So, all right. And Ceti, I haven't connected them in a long time. I do see them as humanoid beings with a lot of advanced technologies. Advanced technologies that they can just wipe out other races of beings. The vibe I get from them, not that they're there to do that, but they can create like crazy technology. Obviously don't see that here physically, but some of them are really big on their hair here. Cetians can be Nordic looking type people. Some can have red hair. Obviously that's not helping much. Some are really good at computers, technologies. I'm not feeling science, but they're good at technology, if that is helpful at all. So, okay. All right, we connect to, you can connect to Ukrainian consciousness. I'm not sure that's a good idea. I guess. Sure. Okay, we connect to Ukrainian consciousness. erase timelines or just let that come through what it needs to say on that. And I think feel like a feline presence for that. All right, so all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We are the Ukrainian consciousness. Some might feel that we are trickster beings. Some feel like we're just the most untrustworthy energy of all the world. Some take advantage of the resources, and that is where the corruption comes from. It has a lot of natural resources that can be utilized. And so corruption builds from that, where people that have power of those natural resources feel like they're gods. So when you have people that feel like they're God, which many elites do feel that way, they don't feel like what they're doing that is wrong. Like they can do evil, but feel like it's not evil. Because they keep doing it and not get caught. Yeah, you can say the monsters of the universe. So it's up to them. There is a lot of Atlantean, Syrian. There's a lot of alien energies there, of course. A lot of gifts were brought to the earth. A lot of the earth created its own, but a lot of the gifts were brought here for humanity to grow and utilize, even create alien ships and things like that. All you do is talk to the earth, and you can create all kinds of things. Obviously, there's many that have agendas. See, those that own the natural resources obviously don't want you to know about yourself because they're in power now. Why should you have any joy in your lives? There are some countries that, Ukraine, for example, has enough materials that could create actually an alien spaceship. Of course, you need to know what you're doing, but you couldn't do it. Of course, you have to be at a higher frequency, but you can still do it here. Basically, you find a land, an area where you're at peace, and what is it that you want to create? Because usually it's you want to invent and explore. Ukraine is one of those places. Yemen is also, but Ukraine has a lot of natural resources that can be used as in a higher frequency form, where of course you have to, grow up, mature, but eventually you can leave the planet. Eventually, you already have planes being created now, but yeah, the idea is to have a place with natural resources. You clear out your energy field, and you just connect to the land. You're at such a peace where anything can happen. It's almost like you walk through people almost. Yeah, you shift your vibration at a higher frequency. And you just see things differently. All of a sudden, you know things that you did not know before, which is knowledge from the Akashic. So you can take natural resources and utilize their elements to build what you want to build, but in a natural, positive way. And this is how the aliens became knowledgeable, because it's where they were on a spiritual level. They just knew. And you have inventors now that invent this insane things. That it's like, how did they do that? It's because they're at a certain level where they can do it. But you can do more. Obviously, many here will sabotage it because they don't want you to utilize it. And that's just humans doing it. Aliens can do it also, but also humans can do it. But there can be countries where that advance themselves very rapidly, where it's like an alien state, meaning that your country, a single country, can be a small country where everyone's evolving. And you don't have to call it Palladian or Syrian, call it Ukrainian. We'll just use that for example. And technically, your other Ukrainians are already at a higher frequency. Even many Russians are at a higher frequency also. Of course, not the Russians don't want this war. This is a government situation. The Russians would not want something like this. Obviously, don't like the corruption And they understand that part. But nobody wants a war, really. Even those that are causing the war don't want a war. So, blessings. Greetings. We are from Alpha Centauri. Greetings. The Cetians are here for sure. We are from Alpha Centauri. Greetings. Erased timelines. This is usually erased. Other versions of Earth are erased from your reality. Other versions of Earth are always coming into your Earth's frequency. You see that through entertainment, but also you see it within the people. So you're all from different timelines, different places, and that's a lot to keep track of. But some of you have the ability to bring in a timeline. Some brought in this war timeline, as you can see. That's a galactic war that's going on in Ukraine. There's much more than going on the surface, of course. Sometimes war equals peace. I know some have difficulties with that. But that is what you're working towards. Sometimes you have to see that war side. No, it's terrible, but for a world like this, it's in its nature for now. But for timelines to be erased, it happens mostly in the astral because I feel like this world has dealt with too much. Such like, obviously, like the terrorism timelines were not good manufactured, but lessons for humanity. It might not be a lesson for you, but it's a lesson for other people. But as long as that timeline went, it shows a lot of people needed that timeline. They just needed it to get that war energy out of their system. The virus timeline also could have went a lot longer, but many learned the lessons of it, so it started to deteriorate, which is good. So same thing with the war timeline that's going on right now. So obviously tapping into how that works exactly is a little bit complicated. Us as alien beings can say it clearly. Obviously we can't say it to your reality. It's like, hey, by the way, that timeline is going to be over on this date. We can say that, but you won't hear it. Obviously, many of you see it astrally. Some of you in astral don't even want to see the future timelines because obviously you're seeing too much. Some that see too much see a better life for themselves. Oh, look, I'm getting married. Oh, look, I'm moving and all of that. And you come back into this reality where you're 10 years away from that, and it gets kind of aggravating. So there's a lot of soul reflection that's happening at this time. But that's all we have at this time. Blessings. Greetings. We are the Cetians. We are from Tau Ceti. Greetings. Our reality is just much simpler than yours. We can see things clearly. Your world is still fogging the windows up of your reality, as you can see. Astral has been very much cut off. Now, astral, you have interstates and highways. Astral can look like a highway, but it's very colorful. Sometimes at night, when you have your street lights, it does look like astral. Nighttime's easy to tell the astral energy. You can see the universe. It has an astral vibe to it. So during the day, you can have an astral vibe too, but during the day is the agendas. And some of you can probably feel those agendas even activating into your world. A storm can bring an agenda. Yeah, during the day, as wonderful as the nature is during the day, agendas are in the works all around. And some of you are like, wow, it's really nice out with this nature, but I feel something not right. It's because those that are programming your society are programming it during the day. Now, it can happen at night also, but at night's differently. At night, because you see it happening, at least when you're in the astral state, It's possible you might start feeling it every once in a while when agendas come and agendas timelines being built brought into your reality. There's just a lot of, yes, right now politicians are being controlled, but a lot of them are programming society, as you can see. The actors are just trying to make your timeline look nicer. It's like window dressing. They're trying to, the models, the buildings, they're trying to make your timeline look nice as they throw you into an abyss. So the crisis right now is there's changes, of course. Both governments don't like each other for obvious reasons. They never really liked each other, but they are clearing out the karma. It does come from the Stalin age, but comes out much deeper, that more in the 1600s. Basically, Ukraine and Russia never got along with each other, probably ever. But it has to do with power, because sometimes Ukraine feels like it's more powerful than Russia at times. Probably because it's true. Well, yeah, because you hear about Russia getting all of the negative, but Ukraine not so much. Ukraine seems to get away with everything, and Russia's the ones getting all the sanctions. So Ukraine is kind of, just like a little devil state to some level. The people there are decent, of course, but the government is like a little trickster being. You can get away with anything. So eventually you'll see more of those timelines more clearly. But as a Tao Cetian being, yes, from the 10th dimension, from 12th dimension, 30th dimension, our lives are, yes, invention, but our lifetimes are usually around 30 years old. We don't have a reason to live a long life. What for? Unless you're on a mission like connected to your world, yes, and you have a life extension with 60 years, 100 years, whatever it might be. Well, because you have to live so long, because you have knowledge. And the new generations have not received that knowledge yet. So you stick around so everybody can figure things out, and then you can leave. So in this lifetime, yes, it's a little bit more difficult. People are having difficulties connecting with themselves. So they hang on to their lives for a long time, and some don't never connect to themselves ever. And you see that all the time. They're connected to objects and connected to television. I'm watching that TV show, but they're not going into themselves. They're trying to find every way not to do so. So obviously your society has been programmed not to figure yourselves out, not to go within at all, as you can see. So obviously that's another reason. This is already known, but seeing how we are here, I mean, that's usually the first thing you teach your children is how to figure themselves out. You have some of that here, and some are successful with it, and they're the ones that run your universities. The ones that are successful, they run your universities, obviously, and they just have a way of moving in and infiltrating reality. The thing is, many of them become dark, evil, and lose their souls after that. So sometimes it's best you don't know anything. Yes, obviously your education system has to be changed. You'd be surprised how many souls can do a great deal of good here and just go evil instead. It happens all the time. I think you've seen that. But the idea is for your yes, not a re-education, but more of a Lemurian, not so much a Atlantean energy, because Atlantis was very aggressive. Obviously, in its ancient times, it was all love and grapes and salads, but the Lemurian, the positive Lemurian energy usually is pretty decent overall. Basically, yes, a bunch of hippies, basically. I mean, Atlanteans are like that too, but your spiritual hippies, just basically, you're 1960, but you times it by 100. That's what your world can use right now. But not just in one place, all around your planet. Sweden has a lot of that at this time. Basically, you just have more hippie people, more laid back. But that's the thing. When it becomes that, less things get done. So that's where your world is having. Yes, you might be more spiritually connected, and you're connected to your guides and all that, but you're not doing anything. I mean, the world still has to produce and do things. So there's always going to be kind of you still need the physical aspects of it. So you're trying to bring the best of all worlds, to keep the world moving, but also to heal it. For spiritual growth to come in, not that you're going to have everybody connected to their spirit guides, because we don't see many that interested in that. There's a good amount, but most people don't care. So obviously, when you remove the survival side of your society, you don't have to be tribal people anymore, which is very difficult to heal a timeline. It can be done, but that can take a few thousand years to heal the monetary system. To remove it is like teaching, yes, a dog new tricks. Not an easy one. And a crash won't do it. And transitioning to a different money system isn't going to do it either, because there's more control there, just like with your electric cars. You're going to digital currency, there's more manipulation there than there's the current currency. There's a different type of manipulation, let's put it that way, especially when you get hacked and everything. You get tracked easier. So just like your electric cars are causing more harm actually than good, same to do with your digital currency. There's nothing wrong with the digital currency. If you can make it work for you, that's fine, but realize it's not perfect either. There's no perfect system. So yes, it's chaos everywhere, as you can see. So how to manage for all of this? Yes, obviously just be yourself. Shine your light, but realize there's a lot of confused beings here on all levels. So it's difficult. It's difficult for positivity to be understood here because many people here are actually afraid of positivity. They feel like it's weakening themselves. And that's a reptilian point of view. Doesn't mean reptilians are here to manipulate your reality. Obviously, some of them are doing that. But it's the reptilian within the person, or just the human insecurity. You can look at it that way. So they feel like they become more positive, connected to spirit guides. Like, wow, I am the weakest person on the planet right now. And their defensive systems come down. They're so used to being defensive. So obviously, with every generation, it kind of gets easier. It can get easier spiritually, but then others will get afraid of it and make things hard, and you have to start over again. It's been happening all over. That's why they create religions, is to keep those teachings going. Obviously, you've had a lot of your spiritual, your teachers throughout history that are not have their own schools and things like that, which is helping. Yes, every little bit counts. Yes, you don't have to create a religion. Obviously, those religions are doing more harm than good. Yes, manufactured religion, as you can see. So, but you see the barriers are connected to the planet. There are many. Well, as we said, many are having difficulties connecting to their own positivity. You've probably seen it everywhere. Sending out a light to drive across the street or whatever it might be. It's just that's how they deal with their ordeals, by having negativity. So it's just understanding all this is what you're here to do. Well, shine your light, and also, yes, put your information out there the best you can. And when humans are ready, they will grab onto it. They'll read it, they'll take a look at it, and they'll say, this is not for me. That happens a lot. There is, yes, false spirituality, as you can see. That's more of a trapping. Now, people can leave that, but they're not ready to. I mean, there's only a certain level they're willing to go into, because there's a lot here in the physical they're here to learn still. But some of you are at a level, which is not many are at there, where you're going to leave the earth, yes, and not come back. That does exist. You can't be trapped here forever. Now, you can have like 1,000 lifetimes here, yes, but eventually there's an end to it. And some of you probably can feel that. Blessings.